Hello everyone, this is RJ from Game News USA, back today with another NFL recap. Today we're going to go over Week 16, all the games and what happened and what my thoughts are on it. So thanks for being here. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and let's jump right into it. So right off the bat, Thursday Night Football. The Los Angeles Chargers defeated the Denver Broncos 34-27 in a rather entertaining way. At the end of the first half, they were able to do a free kick, which, if you don't know, it's when you call fair catch, and you have the opportunity, even if no time is left, to kick a free kick, which is like a kickoff, but for a field goal, where you receive the ball. And the Chargers successfully did one. It's been since 1976 since somebody was able to do that. So that was interesting. Then next up, Saturday's games, we had the Kansas City Chiefs defeating the Houston Texans 27-19. The Chiefs are 14-1. They've done it despite not having that great of a point differential. They've found ways to eke out one-score wins. They've had 16 straight one-score victories, which is an NFL record. And the Houston Texans don't feel like a team that's going to make much noise in the playoffs. They feel like a team that's going to be one and done. They won their division, took care of a weak-ass division, but some of these AFC wildcard teams are going to be really good, like the Chargers and the Broncos, and whoever doesn't win the AFC North between the Ravens and the Steelers. I think all those teams could handle the Texans just fine. Tank Dell went down with a really bad injury. He'll be gone for the year. And Kansas City is nearly grasped that one seed. And next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 34-17. This game was actually 17-17 at one point, and the Ravens pulled away. They are a step above Pittsburgh, in my opinion, and it'll be interesting to see how the AFC North plays out from here. Then we go to the Sunday games. The Atlanta Falcons defeat the New York Giants 34-7. Michael Penix jumped in for Kirk Cousins, who was just benched recently, and he did okay. The Giants are just really, really bad, and they are definitely tanking for the number one pick. Then next up, we have the Detroit Lions defeating the Chicago Bears 34-17. Their defense played a lot better. The Bears are still having issues on offense. Caleb Williams is still struggling. The coaching staff with the Bears is still struggling. Detroit looking like they're ready to roll again after losing to Buffalo the previous week. And then next up, we got the Cincinnati Bengals defeating the Cleveland Browns 24-6. This was a very entertaining game if you are a Bengals fan only. Joe Burrow just went off like he usually does. And you know what? That Bengals defense is coming along. They held him to 6. I know it was Cleveland, but they held him to 6. And then next up, we have the Colts defeating the Titans 38-30. The Colts are still struggling, like the Bengals, to get into the playoffs. They must win out, and they need lots of things to happen, but they're still in it to get in it. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams defeating the New York Jets 19-9. Had some kicking problems in this game. Both kickers missed extra points. You know, the Jets be doing Jets things. You know, Rodgers at times will show flashes of old greatness of his, but most of the time he's just ineffective at this point. And the Jets should be deflated. They should feel deflated, and they should be ready to move on from Rodgers. And next up, we got the Washington Commanders defeating the Philadelphia Eagles 36-33. Despite the fact Washington had 5 turnovers, Jaden Daniels had 5 touchdowns, including the game-winning drive, which knocked the Eagles out of position for the 1 seed right now, and it also put Washington more firmly into the playoffs, knocking other teams below them out, like San Francisco. So it was a big deal. Washington was able to get the win. And then our last game that was in the early window for Sunday, the Carolina Panthers knocked the Arizona Cardinals out of the playoff race by winning in overtime 36-30. Carolina's been coming on most of these weeks later in the season. Bryce Young's going to get another opportunity for a full season next year, and they'll try to load up around him. The Cardinals have to acknowledge that at this point, what is Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray is somebody that's only made the playoffs once in 6 seasons. It's kind of difficult because he has talent. They did get better this year. So next year is going to say a lot about both these teams and their future going forward. And then next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings, who, much like the Chiefs, they know how to win close games. The Vikings beat the Seahawks 27-24 in a sneaky, tough road test. Something they might have to do in the playoffs. And the Vikings are 13-2, guys. The Vikings, everybody picked them to be one of the worst teams in the league, myself included, when the year started. Sam Darnold's proven to be more than serviceable. This defense is way better than people would have given him credit for. This team is well coached, and situationally, they are as prepared as anybody that's not in Kansas City. But the Vikings are 13-2, and they have an opportunity to snag that 1 seed from the Lions in Week 18. Next up, we have a throwaway nothing game. The Raiders defeat the Jags 19-14. This is actually a low-key win for the Jags to get higher positioning in the draft, although they don't need a quarterback, they say. So, we'll see what they do. Maybe they trade down and fill out some of their needs. And then we have the Miami Dolphins defeating the 49ers 29-17. Again, very disappointed with the 49ers season. I picked them to win it all. I ain't going to lie to you all. I think they've been knocking at the door. Their window was closing. It's shut now. Like, everybody's old in that team. Everybody keeps getting hurt. It's not going to get any better. The 49ers will be remembered as a team that was really great during this era but couldn't cash it in. Like a lot of teams. A lot of teams that were great or had great quarterbacks that have not cashed it in. Josh Allen and the Bills, Lamar and the Ravens, Burrow and the Bengals couldn't cash it in this era of Mahomes. And that's the way it goes. It reminds me of Michael Jordan. He prevented Karl Malone from getting a ring. Reggie Miller didn't get a ring. Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler when he was with Portland. All these great players. Gary Payton when he was with the Sonics. None of them could get past Jordan. And you got all these guys who are struggling to get past Mahomes. Brock Purdy, another one of them. And then Sunday Night Football, we had a really entertaining game. The Dallas Cowboys fought as hard as they ever fought all year, despite the fact that they're eliminated from the playoffs because they want to save Mike McCarthy's job so badly. I mean, they put their asses on the line like I wish they would have all season if you were a Cowboys fan. And they were able to defeat the Buccaneers 26-24, which is huge because that puts the Falcons right now at first place in the NFC South. The Bucs have to finish with a better record than the Falcons to get into the playoffs and win the NFC South because the Falcons have the direct head-to-head 2-game tiebreaker over them. Then we got Monday Night Football. The Green Bay Packers kicked the Saints' ass 34-0. So therefore, we had a blowout and a shutout on Monday Night Football. Very boring game that probably should have been flexed out if that was even possible. But the Packers are rolling. The Saints are cooked. They had so many injuries. You can't blame them too much. But anybody thinking maybe Spencer Rattler's the answer after Derek Carr? Nah. No, he ain't the guy. Anyway, guys, so that's Week 16 recap. Thank you all for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Did your team win this week? Let me know. Peace. I'm out. Have a good one.